Let's go to Kevin, who's on the line in Orlando, Florida. Kevin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Ken, I'm hoping you can hear me clearly, but I'm doing better than I deserve. How's it going?
I like it. Sounds like a Dave Ramsey listener to me.
I am, yes. So a little backstory here, short backstory. I'm 18, just recently graduated high school, trying to find work that matters.
There we go. Come on, Kev. I like
work
it.
that matters. Yeah, but I've always wanted to work in the creative field, so I've decided to want to start a business, which is, or I should say, a small photography business here in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
I have many people that doubt me, but that's okay. But I read a bit of your book, and I know don't listen to the haters.
There you go.
I remember reading the book, but I just want to ask, what does it take to really get into the field? Because I have the foundation. I have the foundation. I built some of my contacts and all that. But what does it take to keep getting myself out there?
Yeah, well, do anything that it takes, and actually practice the proximity principle, the book that I wrote. So let me give you so I'm going to take that book, which you've read or you're reading, and let me apply it directly to you. So what you need to be doing right now is doing your best to make some connections to some successful photographers in Orlando. Okay?
Okay.
So where do the photographers hang out? And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be a physical coffee shop location. Maybe that's it. But is there an association? Is there a group of photographers, a community of photographers that encourage each other, do best practices in Orlando? Or do you just work your connections? You work your relationships. Hey, do you know a good photographer? You ever hire anybody to do your wedding? Yeah, I did. It was this person. Oh, great. The other thing is it's easy for you to do a search on social media of winning photographers in Orlando. You could find their Instagram pages quickly and connect with them and say, hey, I'm 18, right out of high school. I want to start my own photography business, but at the same time, I want to make it. And part of making it is connecting with successful people like you. I love your work. I love how you do this. I love your lighting. Compliment them. Say, hey, would they be willing to do coffee? If you paid for their coffee or lunch, would they do coffee with you, lunch with you? And you sit down and you ask them a bunch of questions. How'd they get where they are now? What are the pitfalls? If they were 18 doing what you're doing, what advice would they give you? And take a pencil and some paper and actually write it down. And they're going to see how humble you are. You need to be super grateful for their time. And don't ask them to hire you or do anything for you other than give you advice. And they're most likely, at the very end, you could say, hey, if there's some other people or some places, some resources that you think I need to be consuming to become a better photographer and a better businessman eventually, what would you recommend? And in that situation, they're probably going to connect you to some people and places that will help you. And the other thing I would say is I want you to volunteer.
That's what I was going to ask, though. Is it possible I can offer to volunteer my services for free for a certain amount of time?
Yes, absolutely. You're 18. You can live with mom and dad. You're not a loser. You're getting after it. So for you, you're going to learn more about photography by doing what I'm telling you to do and doing what I tell you to do in the proximity principle, the book, than you would going to college and taking classes there. And so you also need to consume podcasts and YouTube videos and read books by well-known photographers. You are just becoming a human sponge, Kevin. And then you go volunteer. I'll hold the lighting stuff. I'll do this. And and then listen, volunteer a little bit, but also be okay potentially working for a photographer. And then still in your spare time, because you're 18, you got a lot of it, you can shoot some photography and start your own thing. Start your own, Instagram page or Facebook page or whatever, and start shooting. Do family portrait for $200 for some friends when everybody else is doing it for $600. You're 18. You just get after it. You do what I tell you to do in the book. And I just gave you a little bit of a summary, then you're going to be fine. Okay? So go get after it, and you're going to see opportunity come your way.